Hello traders, it's Tuesday, September of 26th. This is Alan Hong, market analyst of GKFXPrime. So I'm gonna share my daily analysis through this video. And first of all, let's review the major market movements. So the first instruments we're referring in the dollar index in 4-hourly charts. So the US dollar index was rose sharply against the basket of major currencies on Monday, up 0.57% to 92.47, and it was benefiting from a slump in the euro in the wake of elections in Germany, which saw support for German Chancellor Angela Merkel's conservative alliance slump to its lowest level since 1949. So the dollar was capitalized on the euro slumps and hitting a 2-week high, but renewed geopolitical uncertainty on the Korean Peninsula was limited gains as the demand grew for safe haven currencies like the yen and Swiss francs. So North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho described President Donald Trump's recent tweets about the country as clearly a declaration of war and warning that Pyongyang has the right to shut down the US bombers. While the euro started the week on the back foot, falling 0.95% to 1.1843 as the Merkel's Christian Democratic Union had the worst elections showing since 1949 and ceding ground for the far-right Alternative for Germany party. So the somewhat Pyrrhic victory complicates Merkel's effort to stitch together a complicated three-way coalitions that can withstand the pressures from the anti-immigration AfD parties, so which garnered about 13% of the votes and becoming the first far-right party to win seats in parliament in more than 50 years. Meanwhile, the sterling was pegged, raising gains against the greenback, dropping 0.42% to 1.3453. So as the fourth round of Brexit negotiations between the UK Brexit Secretary David Davis and EU negotiator Michael Bennett got underway on Monday. Meanwhile, the safe haven Japanese yen has lowered in Asia on Tuesday, changed hands at 111.62 and down 0.11% after the Bank of Japan released its monetary policy meeting minutes on Tuesday that showed policymakers aim to stick with their current policy framework and that there was reasons to be optimistic about consumer prices because measures of inflation expectations had stopped falling. So also on Monday, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called snap general election that will decide whether the country sustains its massive economic stimulus, so the vote is set for October 22. And the kiwi was ticked lower against the dollars, so down 0.36% to 0.7246 after the release of a slew of regional figures that with the trade balance for New Zealand in August at New Zealand dollar 3.2 billion on year. So it was wider compared to the 2.91 billion New Zealand dollar expected. So the pair NZD USD was retreated after no single party won a majority in New Zealand's elections over the weekend. So the ruling National Party won the largest number of votes, but neither of the major parties won enough seats to gain a majority in parliament and forcing a round of coalition talks that could last days or weeks. Looking into commodities markets, so the gold price was rose sharply on Monday and surged $14.07 or 1.08% to traded around $1,311.54 a troy ounce as the escalating geopolitical tensions on the Korean Peninsula was fueled the safe haven demand after North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho warned that Pyongyang has the right to shoot down the US bombers. So the strong start to the week for gold comes after the precious metal slipped to a second straight weekly loss that last week, as traders unwound some of the bullish bets on the gold. So net bullish bets on gold fell to 236,100, according to a report from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission (CFTC) on Friday. So demand for the precious metal, however, could come under pressure during the week as a flurry of various speakers are slated to deliver speeches, including the central bank's chair, Janet Janet Yellen on Tuesdays. So following the conclusion of the two-day policy meeting last week, the Fed have signaled that a year-end rate hike remained appropriate. So in a rising interest rate environment, investors' appetite for gold weakens as the opportunity cost of holding the precious metal increase relative to other interest-bearing assets such as the bond. As for the oil price, it was settled higher on Monday, rose 3.1% to settle at around $52.22 a barrel, amid growing expectation that producers will extend output cuts sooner rather than later, as traders cheer signs that the market is starting to rebalance. So members of the organizations of the petroleum exporting countries, the OPEC, and other major producers was met in Vienna on Friday and pledged to revisit the idea of extending the output cut agreement beyond the March 2018 deadline in the coming months. So other ministers, however, expressed an eagerness to reach a decision this year, filling the expectation that an extension to the global accord to curb productions beyond the March 2018 will be agreed sooner than later. Okay. So in May, OPEC and non-OPEC members agreed to extend production cuts of 1.8 million barrels per day for a period of 9 months until March 2018. So some analysts, however, were quick to downplay the prospect of the prolonged rally and highlighting that rising oil prices may encourage oil exporters to pump above agreed upon levels, so lowering the rate of compliance with the global accords to curb output. So now we're gonna review the highlighted economic data that released on yesterday Monday, as well as the today focus data and events. Right, so yesterday, as a Teen Trade Monday, there's only a data that released by the European Union, which is German IFO Business Climate Index for September, and it was slightly disappointed compared to the focus of 116. The result is as 115.2. Okay. So as for today, during the morning sessions, New Zealand has released its trade balance figures for the August, and it was at negative 3,200 millions, which is wider than the expectations of 2,091 millions. Alright, so besides that, Japan's Bank of Japan also released its monetary policy meeting minutes, okay, and which suggested to stick to their plans. Okay, so during the North American trading hours later tonight, so United States is going to release the CB consumer confidence for September, and which expected to be dropped slightly from previous 122.9 to 120. Right, so besides that, United States is going to release new home sales as well for the August, and it is expected to grow further from previous 571,000 to 588,000. Okay, so tonight, Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen is due to deliver a speech, okay, at 12:45 of midnight in Malaysia hours. Okay, so the last data tonight is the crude oil data from the United States, which stated as API weekly crude oil stocks, okay, which indicates the weekly crude oil informations, okay, to gauge the supply levels in the United States. It's technical analysis sessions now. So first, instruments will refrain in the Great British Pound against the US dollar pair in 4-hourly charts. So the sterling was pair raising gains against the greenback as the fourth round of Brexit negotiation between the UK Brexit Secretary David Davis and EU negotiator Michel Barnier got underway on Monday. But however, it is remained supported by the support level of 1.345 and traded between the both moving average lines in 4-hourly charts. So this was suggesting for further ranging trade between 1.345 and 1.36, and it's remained the uptrend structure as the slow moving average line is still pointing upwards. Thus, closing above the previous high or the resistance level of 1.366 will provide a signal for continuations of uptrends, and we could refill the next resistance level at 1.377. As on the downside, with a closure below 1.344, we're suggesting to experience a short retracement, and the next support level comes in at 1.332. So the euro pair against the US dollars was started the week on the back foot and falling 0.95% to traded around 1.1843 as the Merkel Christian Democratic Union had the worst election showing since 1949 and ceding the ground to the far-right Alternative for Germany party. So looking into 4-hourly charts of the pair, EUR/USD was fell through the Fibonacci retracement level of 50 or the price of 1.187. So it's a signal for shifting trend directions become downtrends. So it is suggested to fall further following another closure below the support level of 1.182. Then we could refer the next support level at 1.176. As for the upsides, the first resistance level comes in at 1.187. The Kiwi was ticked lower against the dollar after the release of a slew of regional figures, with the trade balance of New Zealand in August at 3.2 billion of New Zealand dollar on year, which is widened compared to the 2.91 billion of New Zealand dollar expected. So the pair New Zealand dollar against the US dollars is remain traded in downtrend structure, and the neckline of the head and shoulder pattern at 0.725 has been broken. So it's a signal for further downside. Thus, with a closure below the support level of 0.723, we're suggesting to drop further towards this next support level at 0.714. So on the upsides, the first resistance level comes in at 0.729. While the Aussie was held steady after the release of downbeat New Zealand business confidence data and amid the fresh geopolitical concerns. So looking into the Australian dollars and United States dollars in 4-hourly charts, it is hovering near to the support level of 0.793. So closing below this level will lead to experience a short retracement, but however, it is remain traded as an uptrend structures, thus closing above the previous high at 0.813 will provide a signal for continuations of the uptrends, and we could refer the next resistance level at 0.828 as its long-term target. As for the safe haven, Japanese yen has lowered in Asia on Tuesday after the Bank of Japan released its monetary policy meeting minutes on Tuesday that showed policymakers aim to stick with their current policy framework, and that there was a reason to optimistic about consumer prices because measures of inflation expectations had stopped falling. So the pair USD-JPY was fell into the level between the both moving average line and traded near to the support level of 111.4. So the slow-moving average lines continue pointing upwards, which suggesting for the uptrend structure, and thus closing above the previous high or 112.8 will provide a signal for continuation of uptrends, and the next resistance level will set at 114. So on the downside, by a closure below 111.4, we're suggesting to experience a short retracement. And also on Monday, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called snap general elections that will decide whether the country sustain its massive economic stimulus, and the vote is set for October 22. Commodities, the gold price was rose sharply on Monday as the escalating geopolitical tensions on the Korean peninsula fueled safe haven demand after the North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho warned that Pyongyang has the right to shut down the US boomers. So the precious metal surged back to the level above 1,300 threshold, follow a rebound from the recent low. So referring to the MACD indicator, the both movement lines were pointing upwards, additional with the growing upward momentum. So the pair is suggested to move further higher following a closure above the resistance level of $1,322 a troy ounce. So then we could looking forward to retest the previous high at the resistance level of $1,357. As for the downsides, the first support level comes in at $1,300 a troy ounce. The West Texas Intermediate crude prices settled higher on Monday amid the growing expectation that producers will extend output cuts sooner rather than later, as traders show signs that the market is starting to rebalance. So it has broke out from the previous high at $51.10 a barrel, so provided a signal for continuation of current uptrends. So the next resistance level we could refer to $53.70 a barrel. As for the support level, we could refer to the previous broken level at $51.10 a barrel. To date, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the GKFXPrime logo on the screens in order to follow our updated analysis and education video. Thank you for watching.
GKFX, your global trading partner.